Flippin' Fantastic Podcast, episode 61. I'm Alicia the Ink Picker.
And I'm Mo87 official. How's everybody? Hope everybody had a good weekend and a good week. I always want to say weekend because today's Wednesday, so it's not, but it's like closer.
We're in the middle.
Yeah, we're usually closer to the weekend than, I don't know, when we record.
It was a chilly weekend here, and it's still pretty chilly. And it snowed yesterday. It's all gone now, but now it's just cold and windy, and I hate it. I just want to go outside. I want to go outside in the morning and sip on my coffee and be warm, not cold.
Right. Yeah. That's how it is here. It rained. It rained on the weekend. Well, Saturday it poured. I think Sunday it cleared up, but we're getting rain again now. It's a little bit of drizzle out there. And I don't know. They were saying we're either going to get showers tomorrow or it's going to be like terrible downpours. Just
awesome.
Depends on, But then it's supposed to be nice after that. Like later, this weekend. But I don't know. It sucks.
Well, have you been listening, Mo?
Yes.
Yay!
I have. And that's what I was doing today. Well, I was getting my pictures sorted, and that's what I was doing before we started. I've listed at least 3 days in a row, so.
Woo!
Yay, me! I didn't list as many as I wanted to yesterday, but I didn't.
It's something.
I had to go take more pictures, so. But I got stuff. Yep. I've been listing, so. Hooray. So I have a lot of pictures banked to get to today, so.
That's good.
Yeah. How about you? Get anything good this week?
Not a ton. I've listed quite a bit. I do have a little tiny death pile right now I'm working through, just because I've bought a lot. One of the more exciting sales that happened this last weekend was I went and this lady was like, "Oh, a lot of this is from my old antique store." I'm like, "Oh, you used to have an antique store?" And she's like, "Yeah." What they would do was they would go over to England, buy up stuff, fill up a shipping container, and bring it back and sell stuff. So she had some cool stuff. Not a ton.
Wow.
A lot of it was more home goods, like modern home goods stuff, but there were some really cool pieces in there. Got some of that. And then she had these random boxes of tech stuff. And my husband, is a tech guy. And I almost never find tech that he likes at sales. So I look in there and I see just random weird things. And she's like, $5 a box. So I think it was 3 boxes or 4 boxes. We get home and we go through it. For all you tech people out there, or maybe Mo, maybe you know what this is, but you know about the Raspberry Pi computer?
Yep.
We found 3 of those in those boxes.
Nice.
Along with a bunch of other stuff. There was some card that my husband's been needing, for one of his builds, which I found, and they're both $200 a piece cards.
Yeah.
But I told him, I bought this stuff for you. There's a couple things in here I want to resell, but you can have the rest. Whatever you don't want, I'll take and sell it.
Right.
So he found those. I gave him all the Raspberry Pis. I'm like, just take them. So he can experiment, because we used to have a 3D printer on one of our Raspberry Pis, connected to it, a little mini server and all that. And I'm like, well, here, now you have 4 of them, because we have one already. Bunch of cool stuff in that box. I've made my money back. Well, I will once something sells. I already spent $15. And then the lady was like, "Hey, you want to come back tomorrow and just take whatever you want for free?" She's like, "Do you want it for your booth?" Because I was talking to her about, I'm going to get a booth.
Yeah.
And so I went back the next day, filled up my car. Then I went with Steve and Donna over to Crete, Nebraska. It's about 45 minutes away. And went to a really cool sale. There's a lot of cool new old stock items there. Got some new vintage towels, still in the gift box. And a bunch of really cool stuff. We paid up. Oh, and some uranium glass, which I've already sold for a big profit. One picture, I spent $30 and I sold it for $300. The only comp I could see was $200. So I'm like, I'm just going to throw them up for $300. And it sold. with all the
Wow.
cups too. And I
Yeah.
shipped them separately because I was really worried about it.
Yeah.
Actually, when I'm thinking about it, I should see if it even got delivered yet. Because I'm a little nervous just because it's such a high dollar item, but
Right.
I know I packed it well. Yeah, a bunch of stuff. I got sick of my carpet here in my office, so I decided to start tearing out my carpets. Now we have concrete floor, which to me looks better than the carpet because I hated that carpet so much.
Yeah.
It's torn out up until about right here to my desk because I have to move my desk and keep tearing it out, but I can only throw away so much carpet at a time in our trash can, so I'm like doing it in sections. And eventually I think I'm going to paint, but I'm also going to add glitter to the paint, so I have black glittery floors.
Cool.
So I think I'm going to do that. Just because that's an option I can do myself. I would love to do like tile or something, but I don't want to pay someone to lay tile on the whole floor. To be honest, it's a little too out of my price range at the moment. But
that's
cool. And yeah, anything else new with you?
No, I went to a couple sales this weekend. There was a estate sale at the good estate sale company I like. I'm trying to think what I get because I'm listing it. I don't even remember. It's terrible. Old age. I mean, I didn't get anything major. Just a few like kitchen things that sell. A couple other little things. And then they had the big school slash, well, it's like a church, it's a Catholic school.
Yeah, you said it was that private school.
Big rich school, yeah. They had their big garage sale. And I didn't get anything too great there. I got this like red Garfield that he looks like I don't know, it's like supposed to be like the devil or something. He doesn't have horns. He's just red and he kind of like with an evil looking. I don't know. Anyway, but I grabbed, he was only 50 cents. I grabbed him. I didn't I know like the string that makes like his paw on his foot is out. I'm like, I can fix that easy. That's not a problem. But then I looked and somebody wrote their name on the bottom of his feet. So I don't know.
You might be able to get it out depending what they use.
I'll try and I got to try it. Yeah, I'll have to try and see it. And then, I mean, I'll sell it anyway. Maybe, if somebody, he kind of stands up, so you don't have to look at the bottom. Like you know what I mean? He's not a sitting Garfield. He's standing like this. So.
Not like the bottom of the feet matters that much.
I also think that I also think the ladies that packed my stuff up did not put two things in there. They were like little candle things that were like that real thin porcelain so when you put a votive in it, it was like show through. And they were like ladies or angels or something. There was two of them and they were only 50 cents each. So, but I'm like, they didn't put them in there. Got some Vans and nothing major. Oh, I got a package of vintage sheet, like a vintage sheet that was in a like Canon that's in a package. So I grabbed that.
That's the brand of those towels I picked up was Canon.
Yeah. And yeah, that's about all. I've been listing that stuff, and then I've been going through stuff that I did get a bunch of. I think that's what I got at the estate sale. I'm trying to remember what I got there. I think that's why I don't remember a lot of it, because there was a bunch of like decent Christmas stuff that I put aside. Now Christmas sells all year, people, but like I have other stuff to list first, so I'll list that later. So I've been like, I have a box of Christmas stuff for later, but yeah, that's about it. So, but yeah, just listing. This morning I had two things to go out. I had already packed one, and then I sold something last night. So it was just a plush, like a little plush. And I was like, oh, I'll do that in the morning before I go to the post office. So I go down there this morning and I open I have a bin full of plush. It's not in there. I'm like, well, where is this? Because so all the stuff that I don't have like in bins or on my shelf, like recorded skewed
Mm-hmm.
and everything. I have like two empty shelves on the bottom of one of my shelves where I've been putting stuff that I list that I haven't organized yet
Mm-hmm.
or that I had done before. So there's still stuff there. So I'm looking all through those shelves. Can't find it. Go upstairs. I look in here just to make sure it's not on like a shelf here or something. No. I go back downstairs. I say my little mantra to Saint Anthony. I'm not a church goer anymore, but I'm telling you it works. So as I'm walking down the stairs, I say it out loud. And I go down there and I look on the shelves again. I'm like, maybe it fell. Because I had looked through the plush bin like 2 times. And I'm like, and then I see out of the corner of my eye this other box. I have an overflow plush box that got moved. I think my husband moved it when he was like putting some of the outside Christmas decorations away. I was like, yay.
At least you found it.
It was like a $12 plush, but I'm like, I can't lose this. I'm like, this drives me nuts. So that is my ding 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 that to get organized, which I did a lot of yesterday too. After I took pictures of a bunch of stuff.
Speaking of organized,
because I'm a hot mess. It's a hot mess down there.
So speaking of organized, my husband decided to start helping me pack. So he helped me pack 2 nights last week. And I had to kind of explain to him, this is where I keep all my glass. This is where all the plushes. This is where all the books are.
Right.
And he'd help me pull. Thing is, I have so much stuff on the floor because I have nowhere else to put it, such as, a bunch of glass and all that.
Right.
And he's just like, you really need to get organized. I'm like, it is organized. I know where everything is.
Right.
But I lost
something.
I lost something while he was down here pulling orders and I couldn't find it. And he's like, well, what do you do if you can't find it? I'm like, you have to message the buyer and see if they'll let you cancel.
Yeah.
And it was a whole thing. And anyways, I've been cleaning up. I've started putting some more stuff in the laundry room. But I've also been selling a bunch of stuff off dollar auction, Facebook Marketplace, just organizing better. And stuff has been selling. Remember those cups that I sold during I had my 8-hour listing challenge video, and there was those cups I sold for $300? Well, I went and helped Steve and Donna do a clean out, and they said I could take all the glass. Well, in that glass, it was from that same house where I bought those cups, was like more of this like dinner set by the same maker, and there was plates, mugs, teacups, and like little bread plates. I listed the teacups for $200. They sold within a couple hours.
That's awesome. What's the maker?
Russell Wright. And this one is from a certain series, which is really hard to find. Because I actually found those cups I sold were actually from the same series, but I couldn't find much on it until I Google Lens won the plates. But anyway, so now I have 2 bowls. Oh yeah, and I listed 2 bowls. One of the bowls was chipped. Originally, I wasn't going to list any of this because I'm like, oh, the bowl's chipped. It's probably not worth much. It's still sold for $200 for the bowls. Nice. So I made $400 right there on 4 things.
Yeah. See, even if it's chipped, people, because if it's like chipped on one side and somebody's just putting it in like a display hutch or something, and they just want it, they don't care. You know what I mean? They're not actually using it. They're just gonna. But yeah, dang.
Right,
I need to find me some Russell Wright.
And then there's also the plates, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna list them obnoxiously high and see if they sell. So I still have 6 plates, total listings of a pair each, so 3 listings for $450. And like the guy messaged me, he's like, oh, you have the saucers to the teacups I bought, and then he lowballs me at $150. And I'm like, I have 5 watchers on these. Somebody's gonna want them. I don't think for $450, but we'll see. But anyways, that was really good. I was really happy because I edited footage from that house and I walked right by that set of plates and cups and bowls. And there was 2 estate sales in this house. So everybody passed it up. It's just crazy.
That's crazy because I'd heard that name before and then I just looked it up just to look at it. And I've seen it. It's very mid-century. It's mid-century modern, color-wise and just the lines, it's very awesome. Awesome.
So, yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
And just been working on that. Tore out the carpet, like I said. I'm trying to think what else I haven't talked about. Oh, I decided to take the plunge and become a top-rated plus seller. So now I offer free returns and 1-day handling.
Yeah.
So I've been on top of my shipping. The thing that really sucks is, even though if it's midnight here, I think if someone in California buys it and it's still like, it's like 1 a.m. my time, but, or whatever the time difference is, it still counts as next day shipping. So I could wake up in the morning and still have something that is due to ship out that day.
Yeah.
That really sucks.
Yeah.
But
the stuffed animal that I couldn't find, well, I finally found this morning, was sold. It didn't sell super late last night, but it sold like after I was like done with going downstairs. Like I had packed up the other thing that I sold, but I was like, but at least it was just a stuffed animal. But of course then I couldn't find it. That was the whole thing. But I will say, if you I don't make it a practice, but there have been a few times, especially over the last month or so, when stuff was going on with me and it sold and you don't have any way, you get that label printed before. For me, it's 9, so I guess it's like 8 p.m. for you. It's like 9 p.m. because midnight Pacific time, right? You don't get a ding. And as long as it gets there on time, you're good. You know what I mean? So, because it says ship by midnight. It was like, well, how can you ship by midnight?
yeah,
And I've had that happen where something happened, I printed the label. I don't, like I said, I don't make a habit of it, but it's happened to me a few times in the last, when crap was going on.
Right, and I've done that too. Not printed the label, but I've printed it and didn't ship it out till the next day.
Well, yeah,
and
that's what I did.
Sometimes you'll get a defect, and actually, if you challenge the defect and put that you shipped it at the right time, it still does it, even though technically it like takes the defect off, even though technically it was late, which I found out. Because I used to think it was shipping meant as the label was printed, but I guess we had that whole conversation a few episodes ago about that. But yeah, so now I'm on top of my shipping, which means I had to change up how I do my YouTube videos. So now I'm kind of just doing a general overview of things that have sold. But like yesterday, I packed, I think, 3 separate times. Packed in the morning when I got up. Then I got a bunch of orders in the afternoon, and this was right after I had done the top rated plus. So I don't know if eBay pushes your store more if you do that, but I got an insane amount of sales right after I switched everything to top rated plus. Which is great because you get the kickback on your selling fees, 10%, which if you sell a lot a month, that could technically pay for your eBay store subscription.
Right.
But yeah, it's just insane. So now I'm like, well, now I'm not gonna be able to get the sales early, but that's okay because right now I am a little low on like business account money for buying stuff because I've been buying so much lately. So I'm trying to get some of that money flowing again by selling stuff that's in the store because I'm sitting on a lot of money of inventory. So I need to get that stuff sold so I can use that money to buy stuff. So I'm going to try to take it easy this weekend, but there is an auction tonight at 5 o'clock for like 2 hours. So I might go to that. But we'll see. I'm kind of torn. I'm like, oh, I should stay home and do other stuff. I'm like, oh, I could go. I saw like a Fenton piece and a couple other things, but it's mainly furniture, so I'll be sitting around quite a bit, it looks like, too.
Now, here's a question. So I have one thing that says late shipment. I thought it was the same one that they resolved. Where's the link to get to that?
If you go to your just eBay, and then at the top you click help and contact.
Okay.
Right? And then in search eBay help, I put is it dispute? No, not dispute. It's
eBay does not make this crap easy for you.
Oh, there's some word. Oh, defect. And then there is appeal a defect. That pops up. And then there you'll see all your defects. Well, you gotta scroll down, and then there's that little section. It says appeal a defect, and then you can visit seller help, and then it has all your defects there.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I had no complaint from them. I don't know when it was supposed to arrive. Let me see. It's so weird. Anyway, thank you. I found it.
Yeah.
Now. And by the way, it wasn't one of the ones that I printed a label for.
Really?
And didn't get to the post office on time either. Yeah, so it's just stupid post office.
It's just funny how it works sometimes.
I'm not that worried about it because, it's like one thing. And like I said, I don't make a habit out of that. I just know that if you're in a bind, at least get it printed. You know what I mean? Or just put in for it to print so that you can get it out in the morning. I mean, technically you could take it to I could take it to the post office. It might not even be scanned in, I don't wait for stuff to get scanned in. So, but anyway.
And also, like, the post office where I have my P.O. box, they have one of those drop-offs, but you can scan it and then put it in the Dropbox, which I've never done, but that is an option, and it is 24 hours.
Doesn't count, though.
The scan doesn't count until it gets scanned by the post office itself, like a worker.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I drop mine off night. Most of my stuff, unless it's too big to fit in that box or the box is full, that's what I do. I put it in the box, but I don't scan them in. I don't bother. I, knock on wood, haven't had a problem with any of that. So, with the post office I go to, I was considering. I was like, if I get my stuff and I, put it out, doing pickup. But now, I don't know who my mail person is now, because we used to have a guy and he was here at like 3, let's say, average. And now, yesterday, it was like 12:30 and somebody was there. I was like, what is going on? So I don't know what to do. That's too early for me. 3 was more along. I was like 3, I could get it together. If I had stuff that sold later in the night and I didn't get it, but it's only a mile from me. I can take them in.
Yeah, that's what I'll have to do if I'm not able to like get them out in the morning for some reason. But my post person doesn't usually show up till around 11 or 1. Between 11 and 1, I think it's generally. But sometimes there's days where they'll get here super early. Like on Saturdays, I think they get here really early.
Yeah, I guess it depends too. It's like their day, the regular person's day off, and then somebody else is there. And
yeah, but I think I'll be utilizing Saturday pickups a lot more, just so I'm not so overwhelmed from weekend orders on Monday. Especially, I don't like overfilling my package box to ship out orders because I feel bad for the post person, so I try to like keep it like contained in that box.
Yeah.
Oh, what else? Oh, I am officially in an antique store. I haven't talked about that yet. That happened last week. Or this week, technically, on Monday. You there?
Yeah, say it again.
Okay.
Sorry.
I got into an antique store
Like
on
my
Monday.
thing buffered or something. What's that? Say it again.
I got into an antique store on Monday.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. The original plan was with a different place, and they had told me I was like 2 people down on the list. Well, I called them on like I think it was Saturday or no, it was last like Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
I called them, and the lady's like, "Well, you're still like 15 down on the list." So I'm like, "I talked to the owner, and she told me I was 2 people down, and like to be ready pretty soon. I'll be getting in a booth."
Right.
Like, "Oh well, sorry." Basically, I'm SOL, and I'm like, I've been collecting furniture and stuff for the booth like crazy because I thought it was coming soon, and now it's not. So I was pretty discouraged. I decided to call around other places just to see if there's anything. I went to look at a case in a different store. And I had called this other place, which is actually where Steve and Donna, Happy Heart Treasures, has their booth. And I called and they're like, yeah, we've got a long wait list. So I was like, darn, okay. So I hung up the phone. I was pretty discouraged. I was texting my husband. I'm like, I'm so upset. Like, I was so looking forward to doing this. And now it's like, whatever. And I haven't heard great things about this antique mall that I wanted to go to. But the thing is, they're like the biggest antique mall here. So they had that to offer. But 5 minutes after that, I was like getting ready to drive home. Donna messages me. She said, "Hey," because I told her how it didn't work out with this other store. She says, "Hey, I just got off the phone with the owner. He has a case he'll offer you for $22 a month. It's right in front." And that was it. And I talked to him. And basically Monday, he told me to call him back on Monday. I did, and I got in. And
nice.
Officially got a case set up. It's over at Timeless Treasures on O Street here in Lincoln, and it's actually probably one of the closest antique malls to me. It's just down the highway, which is pretty good, nice. But I set it all up, and they have this online system where if you do make a sale, you can go in there and it'll show you like what sold.
That's cool. Yeah.
So far I haven't sold anything, I guess. It's only been a couple days, but I keep checking like, oh, did I make my first sale yet? But $22 a month isn't that bad, and I loaded that case with probably, I'm trying to think of what I would have added everything up to. Maybe $250, $350 worth of stuff. So I'm like, $22 is nothing. It's like just a couple things.
Right.
Or I had a couple things in there for $20. So it's like,
Now, will that get you if you want a like booth faster?
It could get my foot in the door. I'm not sure about if I do want a booth anymore because I'm kind of going through all that stuff and trying to get rid of it because it's taking up my side of the garage. That's the other thing that made me that I was PO'd about.
Right.
It's because I haven't been parking in the garage because I've been stockpiling all this crap in my garage, and now it's like, oh, it's not going to work out now. I have to get rid of all this stuff. So I've been working on that. Just a little bit, just going through some of it. But there's a couple furniture pieces that Steve and Donna had given me, and I might try to get rid of those pieces or see if they want them back or something, just because I want to park in the garage again. And I just want to see how the case goes for a little bit and go from there. And I do want like a specific area for a booth. I like kind of want to be picky about it, but I need to talk to the owner still like about that. But I'm gonna give it a couple months first and see how that does. But who knows? Maybe, we'll see. I don't know how it all works, but yeah. I'm just happy to be in there. I went in there and set it up in like 45 minutes. My case is all cute. I got like a little brass and pewter section. I got some glass and little knickknacks and trinkets, like tiny things, because it's a locked case. So I was like, well, I can put trinkets and stuff and not have to worry about them getting stolen, hopefully. So yeah, that was exciting, and I'm excited to hopefully have my first sale at some point.
Congratulations, yeah. Congrats. That's very
Trying to think about what else I've got. Because basically, guys, if you're listening to this is basically mine and Mo's catch-up time, because we don't really talk at all throughout the week, and then we get on here and we like catch each other up on what each other has been doing, but you guys basically get to follow along. What any good sales? That's something we haven't talked about yet. Well, I mean, I talked about those Russell Wright pieces, but
I don't think so. I just been bread and buttering it. Not bad, but you know.
I got a viewer sale, which was super
Oh,
sweet.
that's cool.
They ordered 3 things from me, and it was all stuff that was on sale, which is great because actually one of the things I was thinking about delisting and donating. So that's awesome. I don't know if she listens to the podcast, but Laura, if you do, thank you so much for your order. I threw a sticker in there for you because I really appreciate when people, like viewers, come and
That's
buy
cool.
stuff.
Yeah.
And just make sure to note that you're a viewer, because I'll just throw in a sticker for you. Sold that. I sold a $5 Star Note bill for $30.40.
Sweet.
Because I had some dollar bills and I threw
Uh-huh.
one on the dollar auction here and I got laughed at. But it's sold for $15. It was a
Yeah.
1990s like the old style $10
Mhm.
bill.
Yeah.
And people were just like making fun of it and like I was just like what's it, it's still an
Yeah,
old
but like
bill.
if you go, have you ever seen the guy like I don't I don't know what his name is. I think it used to be called Coin Show or something. And he goes through all this. He's like he'll go to the bank and buy like a stack of like dollar bills or $2 bills, and he'll look for certain things. He tells you
Mhm.
what to look for because he's like, oh, that's worth $15 or that's worth 10. That dollar's worth 10 or hey, it's money.
Right.
Just they don't understand it because there are collectors of that. So don't laugh.
Yeah, people are yeah.
Bums.
I sold a Danbury Mint Disney perpetual calendar. It had a bunch of little figurines with it. You know, every month has a figurine. And I was getting ready to pack it, and I noticed 2 of the figurines were actually previously repaired that I didn't notice when I listed it. And I messaged the person, and they had said that they had accidentally knocked over one that belonged to his mom, which belonged to his grandmother, who has passed away since.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, I'm basically buying it to replace those pieces plus the whole board that everything sits on
Mm-hmm.
because that broke too.
Yeah.
So we worked it out, and they still wanted it. So
Uh-huh. That's cool.
that was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bunch of random stuff. I got some Coach shoes a couple weeks ago. New in the box, $70. Um, just random stuff. Bunch of glass, brass, shoes, vintage. That pretty much covers like everything. Oh, and I
Yeah,
sold
I
a
think so.
vase that I found at a sale. I put it as Tiffin question marks. It looks similar to another Tiffin vase, but I couldn't find anything on it. And it
Mm-hmm.
sold for $80. So I picked it up for 5. And it looks like kind of one of those like cheapy like floral vases that you see at like they look like they might glow, but they're like modern.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, it glowed though. So
Oh wow.
it had chips too, and it still sold. So I was happy about that.
I sold a couple old things that have been sitting. I sold this thing. I got it. It was like a online like a high bid thing that I
Hmm.
did. They don't no, maybe it was like a max sold. I don't know. Where I got like the stuff I wanted, was in a big lot, and then this came with it. It's one
Hmm.
of those old metal like lazy Susan things with like glass things in there that you would put like condiments or something in. And it wasn't in the greatest shape, but I sold it for like $30 and it finally went. It's been sitting there. I've had it sitting here for a while. I was like, good riddance.
Woo!
So that was nice. But yeah, I'm steadily selling at least one thing a day. I haven't sold anything today yet, but hopefully soon.
I've
Because
been working really hard on a goal on my 90-day total, and I finally. Oh, she's breaking up, guys. I don't know. Are you there?
uh-oh, I'm here. Hold on.
I think it's getting a little better. Oh, she's frozen again. Sorry, guys.
What's going on? Am I here?
I think you're back.
Okay. Something's up with my internet is like really like low. It was, like the signal was really low.
Yeah, and like your voice and the video is like delayed. Like
Yeah.
okay, so I need to like not watch you because I can hear you quicker than I see you.
Sorry. Don't look
I
at
forgot.
me.
No, it's fine. I was saying I've been working on a goal for my 90-day total, and I finally reached it this week. So I'm really happy. I'm not going to talk about it because it can be really misleading. If you buy, you can buy $5,000 worth of stuff and sell it for $5,000, then your 90-day total is going to be, or
Yes.
sorry, $5,000, sell it for $5,000. Your 90-day total is going to be $5,000 even if you made nothing. So
Right.
it's very misleading.
Yeah.
But I made a
I
goal
know.
and I did it, and I'm happy.
Awesome. Good job. I hate when people post that on. That's a thing that people do on some of those Facebook groups, and I always just it makes me so mad because people will be like, "Oh wow," and they're like, "Oh, look what I did. You could do it too." Stop selling junk or whatever. And I'm like, this means that number now it means something to you because you know what you spent, what, it cost you everything. But like when they just throw a number out there, oh look, I made 10,000 this month. Well, I don't know how much you spent to get to 10,000. So that it means nothing. And then they get all mad and I always I haven't done that in a long time. I haven't seen one of those posts, but I feel compelled to do it every time. Cuz it's meaningless. It's if that was your goal and you're saying my goal was to get to this and but it's always the people that are like bragging that everybody else sucks and they're doing it right. And I'm like, I don't know if you're doing anything right.
Right. And they're the ones that are like, oh, my way or the highway.
Yeah, exactly. It's always some bro.
Oh, we're officially a month away from Sick New World.
Oh yeah. I when I was at the post office today, I was like, I gotta ask her what the countdown is to her trip.
A month away as of today. So I'm
Nice.
excited. Well, it's Wednesday the 27th. It's next month on Saturday the 27th. So technically 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks and 3 days as of today. You guys will be seeing this on Friday, so it'll be a little bit closer. But we're getting there, and they're sending out wristbands. A lot of people have gotten them already. Like the wristbands you need to wear to the festival, they're actually shipping them to us.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Mine is still in Texas, which is crazy because there's someone in a Discord I'm in for Sick New World who's in Germany, and they got theirs already. I'm like, how did somebody in Germany get theirs? And I'm still sitting here waiting for mine when I'm 3 states north.
Post office.
Anyways, speaking of the post office, I opened a claim about that package that I talked about last week where the label got removed off of my package and then put onto someone else's, and it got delivered and they opened a return. I got it back. Post office denied the claim because it says it shows as delivered. And so I opened an appeal and I said, please look at the photos. This package has 2 labels on it. My package got separated from the label and put on someone else's, so they got something else. And even like the person I spoke to on email initially said, yeah, this is our fault. Please open a claim. We'll make it right. And now they're not. So that's awesome. Speaking of, I should see if they updated the appeal or not while I'm sitting here. First appeal under review. So we're still waiting on a response. Anyways. I don't know. It's not like it's a $100 thing, but still kind of sucks. So now I'm like, should I take extra care to like put extra tape on my labels when I ship so this doesn't happen again?
So that happened to you. I always kind of make sure they stick because there are some, since we both, I don't, was it on a bubble mailer or
This was it was on a bubble mailer.
Because sometimes certain ones, I feel like they don't stick. The poly mailers, they usually, they stick pretty well, but
or maybe it was poly. I'm not sure. It was, magazines sandwiched in between two cardboards, and then
wonder if it, like, a cornered, it wasn't down or something. I used a box for that big. It wasn't that big, but the Lazy Susan condiment thing that I sold, and I used this box, and it was a nice box. It was branded on it, so I stuck a lot of eBay tape around it, but when I put the label on, I know it wasn't really sticking, because when you look at it, because it was branded, it had a little bit of a sheen on. Do you know what I mean? So it was a little extra smooth. So I was thinking of you, and I put a couple pieces of tape on either side of the label.
I might have to start doing that more, because usually I will do that. Yeah. In some cases, but might not have happened. It might have. I don't know. There wasn't tape on my label on the package I got back, so.
Yeah, that's just. It's weird that it happened like from a poly mailer, just because they usually.
Is either poly or a
adhesion,
right?
But if it was a bubble, it maybe, I don't know. Sometimes they're a little bit, I don't know, fussy.
Anyways, I don't know what else to talk about. I'm excited for this auction.
Yeah.
I see a couple things. I'm still trying to decide if I want to go. But there's a lot of smalls that I'm interested in. And they've got probably 10 tables of smalls. I'm looking at the video now. But lots of furniture. Oh, shout out to Meg, Lilac Seller. She sent me some Door County coffee, and I had some this morning.
Oh yeah,
it was
good?
Delicious. It was this one was churro flavored.
Ooh.
But she sent me 3 different kinds, so
I don't know if I would like churro coffee. I don't know if I'd like cinnamon coffee. To me,
all coffee tastes like coffee to me. So I could taste a hint like of cinnamon, but I like cinnamon a lot. Right. So
yeah. I don't know if I like it like in my coffee. Like, I never get anything cinnamon flavored coffee. Although it does sound good. I don't know if it would be for me, but that's cool. And I like cinnamon too. I don't know if I'd had it with coffee. Oh, I sold an Easter basket, a vintage Easter basket.
Ooh, just in
time. Whenever I find them, I buy them. Like, they're very mid-century looking, just like, woven, and they have like either green, blue, or pink stripes on them, and they sell really fast. And I had that one not too long, but I had bought it with Easter coming up, and then I didn't get it listed, and I listed it last weekend, and it sold like right away. So
I thought we almost thought Easter was this last Sunday, but my husband's like, "Oh no, it's next Sunday."
The only reason I know is because my son's, when it's like spring break starts Friday for him, so it's always like that Friday before Easter when I worked in the school.
Oh, I'm going to talk about some personal stuff. You know about this already, but I talked about it in the Discord. So we have neighbor kids on both sides of our house. The one family has an older girl, like I think she goes to college or something. She drives. And then a younger one who plays with the kids also on the other side of our house, which there's like 5 kids over there, and they're young. They're like grade school age. We've had issues where they have a basketball hoop, and it's in our van. The way we park it in our driveway is right behind the basketball hoop. And one day they were out there, and the dad was out there playing too, and it accidentally hit the hoop and bounced over, hit the van. Well, our van has a tamper alarm, and it made it go off. We ended up finding the footage because it notifies us when it goes off. And so we saw, and my husband's like, "It's whatever, it happens." I'm like, "Okay." Then my husband and I come home from, I forgot what we were doing. We were doing something. We come home. It went off again. The alarm on the van. We look at the video. There's these neighbor kids screwing around because they keep driving their bikes in our driveway. They'll like weave in between mine and my husband's cars, go in our driveway and weave back out. And we're like, no, this isn't okay because what if they scratch our car? So my husband talked to them through the camera because you can do that. He said something like, get out of the driveway or something.
Yeah.
And now it instigated it. Now the kids were in our driveway trying to get the camera to talk. This was earlier in the day. So there's this group of all these neighborhood kids messing around in our driveway trying to get the alarm to go off by like walking up to the vehicles or like walking up to the house.
So
then
annoying.
Later that day, we're like, well, the alarm didn't go off then. We keep looking. We see this video. One of the little kids, he has his basketball, and you see him just charging up. He does this for like 10 seconds, throws his basketball at the van. And the van, the way it works is the first time it's tampered with, it'll just beep like 5 times.
Yeah.
If you do it again, the loud alarm goes off. The kid does it again. And it goes off. Well, the thing is, before that, they were running up to the van, hitting it, making the alarm go off, and then this basketball thing made it go off more. And
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I didn't see this footage. My husband just said, look at this. And he shows me the video of the kid throwing the basketball at the van. That's all I saw. And my husband's like, I'm going over there to talk to the neighbors. And right away, he said like the dad told them to go sit on the couch. And he like ripped them a new one for doing that. And we haven't seen these kids since.
Oh, well, good.
I saw that footage. I went on our camera system, and then I saw what they had been doing throughout the day, and I was livid by the time I was done watching all this. I'm like, I am so pissed. Anyways, it's handled. We haven't seen these kids. I don't know if it's because they got grounded, or if it's just because it's not warm enough outside, but we haven't seen them. So that's kind of cool, I guess, but I was pretty mad. I'm like, why are, and like I told my husband, I'm like, we need to go out there and talk to them. Don't do it through the camera. I was a little skeptical about the camera thing, so I'm like, what if they're in? That's what happened. So I was pretty upset, but I'm glad that the dad corrected it. There's some parents where you tell them their kid did something and they're like, oh, our sweet little angel. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
at least he lit into him because look, we were all children and all children are stupid.
Oh, I told
but like I'd be pissed too, but I'd be even more pissed if like nothing got done. So hopefully they got the fear of God in them and they're not coming back.
And I told my husband how when I was a kid I had a little 4-wheeler and where my childhood home was there was an alley in the back, so I'd ride my 4-wheeler. Well, one day it had been raining and I decided to drive it through the neighbor's like parking area behind their house, and it was muddy. And I ended up like going through it a bunch of times and, made their parking area behind their house super a muddy mess.
Right.
And I got in big trouble for doing that. And so I'm like talking to him. I'm like, kids do this. Like, I was trying to understand that, I did stupid crap like that too when I was a kid. But it got corrected, and then you learn to not do it again. But yeah, I was like, if it would have dented that, or if they were touching my car or throwing a basketball at my car, I would have been upset. But it was the van. The van is probably the most beat up vehicle out of our 3 vehicles. So I'm like, I'm glad it was that, not my husband's car and my car, because we will try to treat our cars well. Even though the van had no damage on it, luckily. But I was so upset. That's why I sent that video in our little chat there. I was so mad. I just needed to vent. So I was.
I know. I'd be pissed too.
Anyways.
Don't get me started.
And on the weekends, I'm not looking forward to the summer because they go out there at like 7, 8 a.m. and start playing and screaming and yelling. And their backyard, the way our houses are positioned, their backyard is pretty close to like our bedroom window. So we hear everything. And yeah, that was something. But I'm glad my husband went and talked to them, and they apologized. And
hopefully it's the last of it. For
yeah,
you know what I mean? You don't have to deal with it anymore.
Anyways.
Kids be pain in the ass. Excuse my language. I'm over other people's children. I'm over mine too. So speaking of which, what time is it? Did he even come home?
But yeah, I think I might go to this auction tonight just to do something. And oh wait, today is Wednesday, so I need to figure out if I'm going to estate sales tomorrow, which I've only seen a couple posted, so I might have to check back. I made a little list here with all the estate sale companies. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 8. So I'm gonna go check all their Facebook pages. I know 2 of them at least aren't having sales this weekend, which would be fine. It gives me time to like list and recoup and try to sell stuff on dollar auction and all that.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any. I haven't looked to see what's going on here this weekend. It was. Forget.
I thought I had wrote down some other things, but I can't remember a lot. What color should I do my floor, guys? I was torn between pink and black. Black would obviously be better because then you're not gonna have footprints and whatnot on the floor. But I'm like, a pink floor would be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
Like a pink glitter floor, because obviously my office is gray and black. It kind of adds some color. And I'm gonna get an area rug, so I could do.
I was gonna say, are you gonna get rug? Because
there's this rug I've had my eye on from
experience. It's
Ruggable.
It's hard walking on. I've heard mixed reviews about Ruggable though.
Really?
Yes, I have. I was just reading something because I want to get a small area rug for my family room because we have hardwood floors. And I was looking at Ruggable, and then I was like reading reviews, and a lot of people do not like them. I don't.
Oh.
They don't stay down. I don't like all kinds of stuff. They're hard to
Or
vacuum.
I mean, just a rug, maybe not Ruggable, maybe a better brand, but one that I can throw in the washer. Because my cats, when they decide to throw up, for some reason they decide to throw up on rugs and carpet instead of the hard floor. So
we had a cat when I was still living at home when I was a kid, and my parents have hardwood floors, and there was a rug in like the living room, and over top of the hardwood, so just an area rug, and he would barf right on the edge of the rug.
Oh,
I mean, not that it's great barfing for the cat to throw up on the hardwood, but it is a little bit easier to clean up. But he would like go right to the carpet. My mom would leave this damn cat. They always do. Even my dog.
Oh man. Anyways. Yeah, my animals drive me nuts. These cats sometimes.
Walking on concrete is hard so
yeah, I'm gonna get a nice rug for my this side.
Get a nice like pad underneath or something.
Well, the reason why I wanted the Ruggable one is because they have a really cool snake one that I really like.
Oh, okay,
and I love it.
I mean, but I don't know. I was looking at them because, like you said, you're supposed to be able to put them in the wash, but I don't like. I keep seeing like very mixed reviews skewing to not liking them. I don't know because that's what I would like, but I worked. So the school I worked at for the longest was very old. It's almost 200 years old. The first part of it's been added on. So I've spent most of my time there in the oldest part in one of the classrooms in the oldest part, and now there was like crappy tile on top, but underneath that is hardwood that they ruined because they glued these crappy tiles down, because when they took some old crappy tiles out and put some new crappy tiles down, the guy that was doing it was like so sad because they put this glue on these beautiful old 200-year-old hardwood floors. But anyway, so you're a teacher, you're walking around all the time. You're inevitably the first couple weeks of school, your feet hurt just because you're not used to it, right? And then you're fine. Well, at least I was fine in there. When they switched our rooms around, and then I was downstairs in the newest part, in it's kind of the basement. I mean, I had windows and stuff, but I was like partially underground, and it was just concrete under those floors. Oh, my feet, my back ache. It was terrible. I hated that room. I hated it. It was tiny too.
My childhood bedroom, not the one that I initially was a child, or my first bedroom was, but when I moved to the basement so I could have my own room, it was concrete floor, painted concrete. And I always didn't like that because it wasn't as cozy. But I've realized also I don't want carpet. I don't want to pay to get carpet. Even though it would be cheap.
Well, it's not your bedroom either.
Yeah, but I would like for it to be cozy. But I've also got this chair, and I don't want it ruining the carpet by rolling around the same spot and whatever. So I'm like, just paint the floor because I could do something cool. I could do little designs if I want to, or I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I could get a little creative with it if I want to. It's just, it's going to take some time because at that time, I'm going to have to put my store on time away. And I'm going to have to move all this furniture and all my eBay stuff out of here to get access to the whole floor. So I can do the whole thing in one go. But yeah. I'm looking at some more photos of this auction stuff. I'm seeing more and more that I'm interested in. So I guess we'll go. Because as soon as we're done here, it's 2:11. The viewing starts at 4 o'clock, so I might go over there around that time.
What time does the auction actually start?
5 o'clock. So I'll actually get over there to figure out what things I want to go for.
Yeah.
I see a lot of marbles, and I know the last auction I went to had a bunch of marbles, and people went crazy for them.
Yeah, you gotta know what you're looking for, though. I know there's certain things that they look
I know
at,
there's some that glow, and there's some that are made of certain glass, and yada yada. I don't know.
Yeah.
Looking at this one Fenton piece I saw, though. There's a second one, too, but it's like a bowl. It's matte. Oh, it's like a slag bowl. That's what it is.
Slag glass?
See. Red rose slag bowl. It's got a rose in it. But I think it's slag. Yep, it's like a $30 bowl. If I can land it for a decent price. The sell-through rate isn't great, though. If I can get it cheap, I will grab it. Kind of like it. Anyways. Do you got anything else?
No, I do not. Oops.
Well, guys, we hope you have a great weekend.
Yeah. Hopefully eBay is ka-chinging for you. Hopefully it goes back to ka-chinging for me because it hasn't ka-chinged yet today. Slow and steady. I'm getting there. I will be up to 500 very soon. Back up to 500.
All right, y'all. We'll see you next week for episode 62.
Yeah. See ya. Bye.
Bye, guys.